Good morning, students. Subject Physical Education of Class 12th, Lecture number 3 of Chapter number 5. Name of the chapter is Children and Sports, and here we are also going to discuss the answers of questions from Lecture number 2, Homework. So, we are going to start with a new subtopic, that is 5.4 Concept and Advantages of Correct Posture. So in this topic we are going to study about posture, the correct posture, the advantages, and what are the different causes of bad posture. Before starting and understanding what correct posture is, we'll start with what posture is all about. So posture is the position in which we hold our body upright against gravity while standing, sitting, walking, running, or lying down. The force of gravity acts upon our body constantly. So posture is a position in which we are while we are sitting, standing, lie down, running, jumping, or doing any of the physical activity in which our body is constantly acted on of gravity. Now the concept of correct posture. So correct posture means the balancing of body in accurate and proper manner while doing different physical activities. So what they're trying to say is that correct posture is a position or a posture of the body in which the body is in a balanced or a stable position and in which all the movements are done in a very efficient, effective manner or proper manner, and all the skills are performed accurately and properly. In a proper posture, the whole body weight is balanced on both feet without any effort, and the entire body appears to be in a vertical line. So what happens is that while we are in a proper posture, or when we are talking about standing posture, the body weight is on both the legs equally distributed while we are standing, and it does not seem to be very something which is having a lot of effort in doing it. So it is a effortless thing in which the body is properly balanced on both the feet with the equal distribution of the weight. In this position, all the limbs of the body perform their function efficiently. A posture is dynamic and changes according to the activity. So in this position, limbs, hands and legs have a better performance, or it functions much more efficiently, and a posture is dynamic, so it keeps on changing. It's not static, it's a dynamic thing which will keep on changing according to the situations or the activities which we have to perform. Now views of every. A good posture is one in which the body is so balanced as to produce least fatigue. That means all the movements which are done by an individual are done in such a balanced way that that particular individual feels less fatigue while doing any of the activity or get tired after a very long or prolonged working hours, not just as he starts it. There is no one single best posture for all individuals. So as each and every individual's body is different, walking styles are different. So the best, you just can't define the best posture for all the individuals to be same. It depends on the posture of an individual, how an individual's body is. Each person must accept the body that he or she has and make the best use of it. Now whatever kind of a body you have, it, you might be obese, you might be very lean, or you might be having some of the disability or disorders. So whatever type of your body is, actually you should make best use of it, so that what all movement you perform in that particular body is are balanced. For each person, the best posture is the one in which the body segments are balanced in the position and of least strain and maximum support. But even then, there are some general norms regarding postural positions. So each and every individual have their own patterns of different working out of different activities. So It can be different, but they still have some general rules or norms regarding the postural position. So we are going to start with the correct posture for standing, how an individual should stand. In the standing position, both the heel of the feet should meet each other. So as you stand in the attention position, you need to stand like that, in which both the heels are going to meet each other. Toes of the feet should be 3 inches to 4 inches apart. So toes should be apart from each other, 3 to 4 inches. The whole body should be erect. It should be straight. With straight knees, you should not bend your knees while standing. Chin inside, not outward or upward. Chest forward, stand straight, and belly backward and pressed inside, while equal body weight on both the feet. So you can even see the image. You need to stand all erect and not how the other person where there is a cross, she is standing. Fourth point, the entire body should be balanced in this position. So the entire body should be balanced and stable. From the side, the line of center of gravity must pass through your ear, shoulder, hip, knee and ankle. So the line of gravity must pass these body parts. In such a position, the muscles and ligaments remain free from stress. So in this position, you feel comfortable and relaxed because none of the body part is stretched or something. That is why your muscles and your ligaments remain free from stress and you stand all straight. Now the correct posture for sitting. When we sit in a chair, our hips should be as far back as the chair as possible. So you need to take good support of the chair, the back of the chair, and you should sit properly. The hip should be as back as the back of the or behind of the chair. Head, spinal column, shoulder and hips should be in straight line and erect. So your head, your spinal column, shoulder, your hips should be straight in a single line. Legs should touch the ground and should not be in a hanging position. So your both the legs should be stable or should be straight on the ground and they should not be hanging on the air. Thighs should be in horizontal position. So your thighs should be in a horizontal position. You can also see the image given there. Fifth point says, while we read, the book should be on the table, but the book should not be too far away or near the eyes. So just to make it comfortable for your eyes also, you should keep the book at a sufficient distance. It should not be too far or too near to your eyes. The approximate distance between the book and the eye should be at least 30 centimeters. If we do not follow this rule, then eyesight problem may occur, as I said before, because it is just to make your eyes feel comfortable. Not a lot of stress will be there if you have the book very far away or so near to your eye. So it is good for your eyes also. For writing, a table with slight inclination towards the outside is appropriate. So while you are writing, so you need to take care of the furniture also, that the furniture should be or your notebook should be kept in a inclination while writing something. So after understanding the posture and the correct posture, we are going to study or talk about the advantages of correct posture. Now there are several advantages of posture. The first one is physical appearance. It is natural that every individual wants to have a good physical appearance. In fact, physical appearance depends on the posture of the individual. A good posture leaves a lasting impression upon others. So as you can see from the image also, there are two people standing, one in green and one in red. The posture of the person who is in green is very good. So this is the physical appearance we are talking about, that if you have a good posture, then it will be a good impression on others in the society also. And if you don't have a good posture, then again you will not have a good physical appearance and you will not have a good impression also. Second one is grace and efficiency of movements. Physical posture plays a vital role in the field of sports and games. An athlete requires a variety of efficient movements. So each and every movement which a athlete has to do should be very efficient, graceful, and means the movement which he or she is actually doing should be perfect, so that they can compete in a proper way. If the movements are not perfect, then they will not be able to perform in a proper way. The apex points can be achieved in the field of sports if the movements of a sports person are efficient and graceful, as I said before. The balance and coordination depends upon the physical posture. Without a correct posture, grace as well as efficiency of movements cannot be attained. So it is very important. If you have a good posture, then only you will be able to have good, graceful or efficient movements. And if you wanted to be an athlete, or even if a normal person wanted to have a graceful and efficient movement, it is very important for them to have good posture. Third one is your physical fitness. Physical fitness is essential to live a productive life. Now, if you want to be productive, if you want to produce something useful to the society or to yourself, it is very important for you to be physically fit, because if you are not physically fit, there are a lot of things which you will not be able to do, and you will not be able to be very productive in your life. Physical fitness can be achieved if you have a good posture. The balance, coordination, flexibility, etc. are the components of physical fitness. As we already know, these are the components of physical fitness, and these components can be achieved or attained easily by an individual who has a correct posture. So individuals who have good correct postures can easily attain physical fitness. Fourth point is hygienic value. An erect, straight and vibrant body helps in the proper and efficient functioning of various organs. Correct posture is important not only for good health. A correct posture instantly gives confidence from the health point of view. Correct posture assists in reducing back pain, headaches and spinal problem. So a correct posture not only just bring a fitness, but it also bring you good health, and because of correct posture you have a lot of confidence and motivation in you. So as we talk about the health point of view also here, that it if you have good posture, then you will have less of back pain, you'll have less of headaches, you are going to have less spinal problems, even you will have less joint pain, and you will have less problems in moving from one place to another. So it also produces this hygienic value. Now the social value. A correct posture is appreciated everywhere. The individuals who have good posture are usually admired in the society. So a correct posture has a social value also, because everyone appreciates a person who has a good, correct and confident posture. So in the society where we live in, we are appreciated normally by our outer appearance. So if an individual is having a good or a correct posture, the way he stands or she stands or walk or run or sit, all of these things are actually judged by the society. And if you have a good posture, you will be appreciated by the society, and you are going to have a good social well-being in the society. So it is important, if you have a good posture, then you are going to have a good social value also. Economic value. A correct posture has an economic value to its credit. A person of good posture makes less expenditure of energy while performing any type of activity in comparison to a person with a bad posture. So what happened, like when we talk about economics, you should understand that here we are going to talk about the less wastage and supply and demand of different movements. So while we have to perform any of the activity, it depends on us that how much energy we actually produce or use or expend while doing any of the thing. So if an individual is having a good posture, the expenditure of this energy would be less, and he will get less fatigue as compared to a person who is having a bad posture. In fact, gravitation force acts upon the body of a person who has a bad posture. So gravitational force also acts upon more to on a person who is having a bad posture. A person of bad posture requires more efforts in maintaining his balance. He or she wastes also energy in simple tasks such as sitting, standing, and walking. So a person who is going to have a bad posture will take it more efforts in maintaining the easy balance or the stability of a body, and he is also going to waste a lot of energy in doing very simple tasks like sitting, running, walking. 7th point is your prevent disorders and diseases. Poor posture badly affects functioning of our body system because many of our organs and systems are displaced, or you can say they are not properly organized if your body structure is not good, or if your body is having a bad posture. So a correct posture prevents lower back pain, neck strain, constipation, diarrhea, disturbance in blood circulation, irritation, etc. It means that we are not easily affected by various disorders and diseases if we have a good posture. So while having a good posture, all the organs and system will be in a proper place, in their proper place, and they will be having a good functioning of their systems. So that is why a good posture is going to prevent disorders and diseases. Change in mental attitude. Self confidence, happiness, and determination are the results of correct posture, and on the contrary, anxiety, unhappiness, and pessimism are the outcomes of a bad posture. These traits change the attitude of a person towards life. A correct posture always boosts self confidence and self esteem. So, an individual who is having a good posture appreciated by all, his physical or her physical appearance is good, his hygienic value is good, he is not having any kind of disease or disorder or any kind of illness, and he is good into society also, people appreciate that person, then that person is going to have a good self confidence, is going to be happy and determined towards different things. And at the same place, if a person is having bad posture, then there will be several reasons because of which he might be anxiety, he is having anxiety, he might be unhappy, pessimism mean he might have some kind of negative feeling. So it also changes the mental attitude of an individual. Now, fatigue. A correct posture reduces the fatigue because all the systems of an individual's body perform their functions more efficiently. An individual feels less fatigue due to less stress on muscles and joints. So, when we talk about fatigue, it is very simple that if all the body parts are working properly, all the organs, all the systems are working efficiently, then obviously there are less chances of getting fatigue. So they are saying if you have a good posture, then there will be less fatigue also. So the 10th point is improve speech. A correct posture helps to improve speech because it gives freedom to diaphragm, and it also gives freedom to all the respiratory system organs, for example your lungs, your trachea, and others also. If there is too much stress on diaphragm, an individual cannot speak clearly and efficiently, because if you have a postural problem or a postural deformity, as I said earlier, the organs in the body are not placed properly and they do not get the sufficient space to perform their functions, and that is one of the reason why if you have a good posture, you're gonna have a good speech, or you can speak much more clearly and efficiently. 11th point, improves concentration power. As a matter of fact, a good posture helps in breathing properly. We already read it. When an individual breathes properly, his concentration power as well as thinking ability are improved. When in fact our brain requires 20% of oxygen to perform its job appropriately. When the percentage of oxygen increases in our blood, more oxygen is supplied to brain, which increases its working capability and normal function. So when our body is having a good posture and all the systems are working properly, means cardiovascular system is working properly, then excess amount of oxygen is supplied to the body, and because there is an increase in the oxygen supply, so brain also get more amount of oxygen, because of which the functioning of the brain and its working, the capability of the brain is enhanced, and because of which our concentration power and the thinking ability also enhances. Now we are going to start with the next subtopic, which is 5.5 causes of a bad posture. Generally, there are various causes of a bad posture or poor posture, but the gravitational factor is the major cause. So, gravitational force acts upon our body when we sit, lie down, stand, walk, run, or perform any other activity. Our body adapts according to the action of gravitational force. So, our body acts towards this gravitational force, and our body keeps on changing its position according to the gravitational force also. So gravitational pull is also a cause of a bad posture. A good posture helps us to align with this force properly. If you have a good posture, we are going to have a aligned posture, and then gravitational pull will not be much a problem for an individual. So if you have a bad posture, gravitational pull might also be a reason of it. The very first reason then now is improper diet. If we do not take proper diet, the bones and muscles of our body become weak. We experience fatigue after some time. Consequently, we adopt faulty and bad posture. So what happens is, if an individual is not taking good diet, is not taking carbohydrates, protein and fats properly, then the production of energy in the body will be less, and an individual is going to get tired of fatigue very easily, because of which he or she is going to have a faulty or a bad posture. Diseases. Various diseases like rickets, polio may result in bad or poor posture. Chronic illness may also lead to a poor posture. These diseases may result in undue curvature of the vertebra. So it depends on how you had different diseases. If you had ricket or polio or any other chronic illness, then also an individual can have a bad posture because of the weakness he or she feels after these diseases. So the next point is by birth. So a child who is having different kind of postural deformities like kyphosis, clubfoot, dislocation of hip, then that child is never going to have a good posture because of these deformities. So by birth also an individual can have a bad posture due to accidents, not due to several accidents which take place. It might be a burn in your hand or leg, it might be some kind of injury to your muscle or bone or joints, and because of these injuries an individual will not have a good posture, and then these accidents actually become a big cause of a bad posture. Fatigue. If we work continuously for longer duration, we experience fatigue and we become lazy and lethargic. So we adopt a bad posture. If we continue doing that work even after work, when we take rest, we tend to adopt a wrong posture, which ultimately results in the poor or bad posture. Now you can see from the image also that person is not standing straight. His knees is bent, his shoulders are bent. And what actually happen, if we are working for a longer period of time, our body actually feels lazy and lethargic, and because of which we adopt bad posture. We do not stand straight or erect, we don't balance our body properly, and even if after work also we take rest, so we take rest in all the bad position, in just like because we wanted to lie down or sit for a period of time, so we take bad postures, or we come into poor posture, because of which a bad posture can be a habit of an individual. So fatigue is also one of the cause. Now the fashion. To be in sync with modern fashion, we choose clothing that creates hindrance in the smooth functioning of the body. Owing to these fashion, children cannot walk, stand or sit properly. Now it depends on the fashion which you are putting on, and because you need to work with the day-to-day lifestyle or with the modern fashion, that is why many of the children actually wear or uses different kinds of clothing, accessories, shoes which are not good for your physical posture. They adopt a bad posture when they perform any work. They forget the natural posture of body. Even tight and high-heeled shoes may change again in the of a individual. So I have also given you the picture. It is written high heels show the throw the weight force forward, causing the head of the metatarsals, your fingers, to bear most of the body's weight, and because of which you have pain and you have this problem in walking and running also. So the next point is imitation. Now imitation also plays a major role in forming wrong posture. Normally what happens is children imitate their role models, heroes and heroines, and they forget their own posture, and because of which their body does not support it and become a poor or a bad posture. As I said earlier in the starting of the lecture, that everybody's posture is different because of their own body structure, and because we imitate others and our body structure is not same, that is why our posture becomes a bad posture or a poor posture. Next point is lack of fresh air and light. So if there is lack of fresh air and light, our body does not feel comfortable in doing several movements, and because of which we might have different spinal curvature deformities like kyphosis and many other. So it is important for us to have a good breathing and to have a good light around us, and if it is not there, then we can have bad posture. So today it is the end of this lecture. We will be moving towards our homework section. So today's homework is question number 1. What do you mean by correct posture? Question number 2. Explain the correct sitting posture. Question number 3. Explain any 3 advantages of good posture. Question number 4. What are the causes of bad posture? Explain any 3. Now the answers of questions from lecture number 2. Question number 1 was, what do you understand or what do you mean by weight training? Answer is, weight training refers to the exercise phase of the activity where weights in the form of barbells and dumbbells are used to condition and alter the sizes of various segments of the body. Question number 2. Explain the exercise guidelines for adulthood. Answer. The exercise guidelines for adulthood are: adults should try to be active always. They should do brisk walking, bike riding, dancing and swimming with moderate intensity. They should also indulge in running, aerobic exercises, weight training, push-ups, sit-ups, etc. for muscle strengthening. They should perform resistant exercises at least 2 days a week to tone their muscles and bones. Question number 3 was, explain any 3 advantages of weight training. Answer. The first is helpful in enhancing athletic performance. A perfect weight training program is helpful in enhancing athletic performance. The advantages of strength training for athletic performance are enormous. Increase body bone density. Weight training helps in increasing bone density. Research studies which have been conducted in this field indicate that the risk of osteoporosis is lower for the individuals who do weight training exercises at least 3 times a week. Third point, reduces stress and tension. Weight training is also advantageous for reducing stress and tension. In fact, it acts like an outlet for stress and tension. Last question was, what exercises should be done by children in later childhood? Answer is, during this stage of growth and development, children should indulge in activities such as throwing, jumping, catching, running, etc. so that they can acquire body control, strength and coordination. Stress should be laid down on organized or team games which aim to develop social consciousness in them. Third point, during this stage, children should be introduced to competitive sports and taught the basic rules of sports competition, that is, enjoying the game, fair play, simple strategies and tactics. So this is the end of the lecture. Thank you.